Hello, everyone. As you can see, this review is for Madam Webb. It has been quite a long time since I recorded anything. And as always, for these movie reviews, it's going to be a skip it, stream it, matinee price, or go watch it. And this movie was a mess. This movie is a mess, but it does still follow along what their new formula is. It's more comic booky. I know this is a Sony film, not necessarily the Disney Marvel stuff, but whatever the case may be, it's more comic booky. And what I mean by that is, like, if you ever read the comic book, certain things are missing, and dialogue that sounds good in your head because you're reading and your imagination kind of takes over. It doesn't translate well into, a full blown feature film. And that's the same for kind of Ant Man because a lot of people didn't like Ant Man and Marvels and all of that. Those it's kind of just following that trend. That's not necessarily a good thing for these superhero movies. And Madam Web is essentially about this woman named Cassie Webb who is orphanized. Um, due to her mother being killed in the Amazon jungle, and she has quite a bit of resentment for her mother for that, and she develops power to have these premonitions, and see into the future, and it doesn't necessarily make a whole lot of sense because I'm trying to recall and I'm having a hard time of how exactly things just transpire in the movie. But essentially, she runs across these three girls in the film who are destined to kill um, our antagonist, who was terrible. His motivations were justifiable, like he sees his impending death, and because he sees his impending death by the hands of these three girls, um, he wants to get to them first because he's attained all this power by using the power of a miraculous spider who just so happens to be what Cassie Webb's mother was looking for way back when. And she develops the powers, and by happenstance, they come across each other. She sees the future, futures, plural, of, these three girls being in danger. So she decides to use her powers to help these three girls survive our antagonist, who was terrible. And I don't know what kind of voice he was trying to use for his villain thing. The movie is terrible because of the lack of dialogue, and it just seems like there's points where the actors are trying, and then there's other times where they've just given up. They've given up on this movie, and you just watch it, I guess. I mean, I don't think I was pulled out of the movie quite like I was with Argyle. I'll do another video for that later. But, you know, it flows well. It was just a poorly done movie. Unfortunate. So I'm just going to say skip this. Skip this movie. There's no real reason to watch it unless you're just, wanting something to go out to the theaters to watch. But this isn't worth your money to go out to the theater to watch, in my opinion. I saw this. No, I didn't even see it on a discount Tuesday. I didn't even do that. I paid full price for this. No matinee price. Can't even tell you matinee price for this. Excuse me. But all right. I will say, as a word of encouragement, Cassie does deal with resentment and bitterness, um, from her mother. and learning the truth, she's able to let that go and embrace, the gifts that her mother's sacrifice gave her. Without spoiling too much, if you really have interest in the movie. But God is our ultimate Father. Jesus Christ is our ultimate Father, and when we can let things go, we can and take kind of like, I want to say, like our rose-colored glasses off, and allow for a different perspective of how God sees us to come in. We can make ourselves better and see the truth about how He feels about us, that we're not alone, we're not abandoned, and the things that hurt us, He can heal those things. And that's my word of encouragement from Madam Webb. And I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.